This is 2 Minutes About Time with Luke Allen and Robert E.G. Black, the podcast that takes a look at the film About Time 2 minutes at a time. I am Richard Curtis, and I hope you enjoy it. And if you don't, well, you can just travel back in time 2 minutes and listen to something else.
I'm one of your hosts, Luke Allen, joined as always with my co-host Robert E.G. Black.
Hello.
And with special guest this week, Alexander Westwood.
Hiya, hello.
So today we're looking at minute 40 of About Time, before going to our special minute later on. Well, another thing I said was I was going to give that segment a different name every week, and I don't have them, so it's just bonus minute, I think, always. There we go. So, minute 40. You can see how I try to make the show fun and quirky and then give up very early on.
Yeah.
Well, 40 minutes into the film, it's not too bad to give up, I guess.
You've given up on the film?
on this one segment, I'm not just, oh yeah, right,
Okay.
Bye guys, I'm off. 40 minutes
The show's
now.
over.
I don't want to see bad things happen to my lad Rupert, so I'm just gonna leave before that happens.
You're a
Yeah,
Rupert
as
fan?
this minute
What?
begins, I'm okay with Rupert, until he speaks.
I'm okay with Rupert till he enters the scene.
Yeah, I'm alright with the concept of Rupert. It's just,
I'm alright with the name Rupert. I like the bear.
Do you get Rupert Bear in the States, by the way?
No, I don't think so.
You're missing out.
Transatlantic humour loss there, I guess. Damn.
I bet you miss out on so many good kid shows. I don't know whether, we miss out on Mr. Rogers, so equal balance, I guess. But, you don't get Horrible Histories, do you?
I've never even heard of that one.
Oh.
Right.
Ooh,
Horrible
wow.
Histories, even as a kid's show, is one of the funniest and greatest sketch comedy shows I have ever seen.
Well, before it was even a kids' show, I mean, surely, have you never heard of the books?
I guess
I
being British
don't know.
history, do they go for?
Well, it's, actually, yes, but, yeah. No, I didn't think of that. Fair enough.
Right, it's 6 guys who are known as the 6 Idiots, apparently. My sister's become a super fan and is watching, everything they've done. But 6 guys who basically, I think they have other actors on every now and again, like Monty Python did, I guess. And, yeah, they just do different, genuinely educational but hilarious sketches, in different historical periods. I think one of the funniest ones is, I think it's 2 deaf people talking to each other and not knowing what the other person said. And it's, 2 people have had their ears cut off, I think, and it's like some sort of punishment of having your ears cut off. And there's this whole dialogue there. But apparently in the entire, run of the show, they made 18 historical errors, and that was it.
Nice.
And they went for
112
Do-
episodes.
Oh, there you go. That
And it is
that,
available on Amazon Prime.
You should definitely give it a watch. 100%.
Yeah, for sure.
And if there's the give up after series 5, the cast changes and it's not funny anymore. But yeah, Horrible Histories. They now do a BBC One sitcom called Ghosts, which is really good.
I haven't seen that yet, but I do need to.
My sister has it on all the time. That I love it, but I also kind of hate the sound of it. But I'm looking forward to the next series because it's really well done. They also did a show called Yonderland, which I haven't seen, but I've heard that was good as well. But that seems to be quite hard to come by. Series 1's £50 on Amazon, so not getting that anytime soon. Says me, the person who spent £30 on an import of The Room. That was a worthwhile £30, to be honest.
Yeah.
Actually, we've started this episode and I haven't talked. Well, we talked about Rupert for a minute, didn't we? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we were almost on topic.
Right,
Almost.
Robert, I'm going to send you a picture of Rupert Bear. I'm going to
I've heard of Rupert Bear. I've just
see whether, the picture of Rupert Bear, brings anything.
Triggers anything.
You secretly find out that suddenly you remember that you have a secret sibling who was murdered by Rupert the Bear and you've been hiding this. You've been mentally hiding memory
Nah,
of him.
he doesn't look familiar at all.
Oh, you've Googled it.
Now, Paddington.
I thought you meant your secret sibling for a second that I talked about. No, it doesn't look familiar.
No, I googled Rupert. I didn't set the picture yet.
I didn't lose my secret sibling that way, no.
No, I ate him.
Yeah, Paddington. Yeah, you've seen the Paddington films, right?
The new ones, yeah, but also I really liked Paddington when I was a kid.
Yeah. But can we talk about how amazing Paddington 2 is as a movie? I think Paddington 2 is better than Paddington 1.
I can't say I've seen it, to be fair.
Paddington ends up in prison.
I think I watched both the same night. I don't remember which one was better.
Yeah, Paddington ends up getting
seems
arrested
to like
and spending time in prison. And Hugh Grant is the villain.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He plays this really sort of up himself actor who ends up a villain. And yeah, it's such a good film. Paddington 2, it's on iPlayer at the moment, Alex.
Rupert seems problematic in the States. Because he started out as brown and then was turned white. It's not right.
Well, then
Seems
Michael
racially
Jackson did
insensitive.
that, and everyone loved him, so...
And
That was to save on ink for printing. But...
and you got Smithers from The Simpsons. Well, he turned yellow.
Yeah.
But yeah. I'm actually only I watched The Simpsons, but I'm starting to watch through it properly on Disney Plus now. How
Nice.
far do I go before I give up? Because I hear it gets bad.
There
a
are
very
always
good
good episodes, is the
Okay.
problem. You
So
could probably find a good list online of good episodes per season and skip around.
Okay, I might do that. Yeah, because I don't think I'd probably not. I don't know if I'm sticking with Disney Plus or whether I've just got it for a while. But I'm probably not going to get through 30 seasons anytime soon, even during
they
lockdown.
had an episode this season, just a couple months ago, that was amazing. So it every once in a while there's a good one, and overall I like it anyway.
Anyway, About Time. That's the show.
Well, right, we haven't talked about minute 40 yet.
Oh, wow.
We need a code for that. It's like when our tangents are too long. Code 4.
Right, so a go actually, says Rupert at the start of this minute. It's all been a bit of a whirlwind, hasn't it, Poochie Face?
Oh, cringe.
That's where he lost me. Okay, first of all, nicknames are weird for me. I've never really called people by nicknames. My wife and I didn't have nicknames for each other. Poochie Face is a crap nickname. But also, they've been together less than 5 days.
Hang on, but to interrupt that, no, Poochie Face, I swear that's insulting.
Yeah!
That's calling someone dog face. Tell me you're going to edit out these little pauses in between.
I'm not sure. It depends if I'm in a good mood when I'm editing. If I'm feeling finicky and I cut out every pause, maybe. If not, I'll leave it in. And the listeners can just pretend they're listening in on someone else's conversation. And it's all raw and natural. Until Robert says something and we bleep it.
Yeah. Now can we fucking get on with it?
Right, so, is that going to be our episode title? It's I bleep out all the bad language, but just keep it in the title.
Yeah.
Right, so, incidentally, the next line is, I'm going to have to teach you what you can and can't say in front of people.
Okay, that's funny. Oh, really funny. That's very good, very good.
No Poochie Face? No. I have Tim chimes in first. Yeah. He knows he's weird and awkward at this point, I feel, and he's just playing on with it.
Yeah, for sure.
I think he's realised that he's going to go back and change this. So he's... That's one thing we should...
If you have the power to go back and change something, I mean, if you do mess up, you don't want to, but arguably, if you do mess up, you go, bummer, that didn't work. Right, let's go again,
Well, I said before, I want to see a scene where Tim goes out committing loads of crimes, just because he can go back and change it.
Or it doesn't even have to be criminal. Just here, if he's just sees Rupert and then just throws his food in his face,
Yeah.
knowing he's gonna erase it anyway.
I wonder how electronics would react with Tim's time travel. Because, say he visited an arcade, went back in time, visited an arcade, and then, set a high score on Pac-Man. If he, leaves it a few days and travels back to a few days after he set that score, or before, what, does the score remain? Because surely you can't, it must be, I don't know, I'm trying to...
I think that time would just not exist, because he lost her phone number as a result of this.
Yeah, so the new thing that he did would happen. Because
And
then
the
he
old
comes back
thing,
to
the old thing
the
never
old
happened.
version.
Rewriting time, okay. Good.
Yeah.
Good.
There are massive repercussions of this later on in the film, but to spoil them, yeah. Also, don't watch the trailer, by the way. I don't...
Okay.
Robert, have you seen the trailer?
Not since before the movie came out, no.
They give away one of the main emotional things in the film.
That's
And I
not good.
assume from saying that you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Yeah. That's in the trailer. There's lines about it and shots of it. Yeah. So odd. I don't really think it's a spoiler to say that there is an emotional bit in the film. It's a Richard
There's a
Pace.
few.
I think it's easier to count the times when you're not crying during the film.
In the second half, at least.
Yeah.
Once it starts getting sad, it stays that way for a while.
No, but it gets to the point, it stays sad to the point that you're even crying at how happy it is at places.
Uh-huh.
Like, it's got that really sort of bittersweet happiness in places as well. It's just a beautiful film. And
we'll talk about it when it plays, but there's this one piece of music that they use a few times that literally in any movie, it makes me cry. And then when I was rewatching the movie, I'm like, oh, it's in this one too. Oh,
Spiegel Im Spiegel.
Yes.
It's beautiful.
Just hear that music and I'm like sad. They
What
used
about
that in the
what about
finale of The Good Place, and I was like, yeah, I'm done.
What about movie 43?
Did they use that in there?
Machines, they're full of kids.
Oh, well, that was the best part of that movie.
Oh, it 100% was. It's
Yeah.
It's like I genuinely like laugh out loud so much at that part. I laughed out loud. I have only watched movie 43 once. I haven't I've watched that clip back and I've watched a couple of other bits.
I've watched the whole movie because someone brought it to the room in it.
Oh, had you not seen it before then?
No, I hadn't.
I went into it looking at the cast and not knowing how bad it was.
Ha! But look at the cast.
Yeah.
You'll think it's good.
There were a few laughs, but not as many as the groans and feeling genuinely sick in places.
No, and there's only like 2, maybe 3 sketches that are even good. And a couple that are really funny.
Alex, have you seen movie 43?
I can't say I have.
Okay. Do you know anything about it?
Not a thing.
Okay, let me read out the cast of this awful movie. They did so many of the cast like not turn up to the premiere as well, or like not really know what the film was about.
Well, yeah, because they only had to do their segment, and they worked for like Hugh Jackman worked for like a day. He didn't know what else was going to be in the movie.
I mean, his bit's not particularly great.
No, no.
Right. Okay, this is the American version here. Different. Do you know there's a difference, or?
I know there's segments that aren't necessarily in the movie.
Like, we don't have Dennis Quaid and Greg Kinnear in ours.
Wait, that's the plot that connects everything together.
We have some weird plot about some teenagers finding the film online and trying to find it. And then some weird thing where he ends up watching a porn movie and it ends up being his mum in the movie. Like, yeah.
Huh.
And from what I've heard about the Greg Kinnear, Dennis Quaid thing, that's better.
Yeah, I mean, it does stupid things, but it gives the movie a plot.
Like, I like Greg Kinnear as an actor. I think he's a decent actor. I'm
And
pretty
Dennis
sure
Quaid's
they're unknowns in our version. So, Alex, the cast, or some of it,
Yeah.
is Hugh Jackman, Kate Winslet, Seth MacFarlane, Naomi Watts, Anna Faris, Chris Pratt, Emma Stone, Richard Gere, Kate Bosworth, Jason Sudeikis, Uma Thurman, Kristen Bell,
Stephen Merchant,
yeah, Leslie Bibb. Like, I didn't realise how many minor roles there are in this film that's run through. Chloe Grace Moretz, Christopher Mintz-Plasse, Gerard Butler, Sean William Scott, Johnny Knoxville, Halle Berry.
Just about everyone in this movie, hasn't it?
Yes.
And pretty much all of them have rejected it, right? Like, I don't think any of them have endorsed it.
Most of them are in the movie for maybe 5 minutes of a time. That's it.
Elizabeth
Because
Banks.
it's a lot of skits, like short things put together.
And even the writing and director credits, like, it should be a good film. Like, well, James Gunn, not particularly, loved at this time, but, he's got credits. You've got...
Who's not particularly loved?
James Gunn. Well,
oh, no, James Gunn is very loved.
Brett Ratner, though. Bob Odenkirk. Peter Farrelly.
Elizabeth Banks. Where do I know the name Bob Odenkirk from?
You watch Better Call Saul?
No. It's
It's
probably
your show
the name I've heard.
with Bob and David? He's the Bob.
No. Okay, I don't think I've actually seen anything he's done. And this might be our biggest tangent yet.
Yeah, this is quite a tangent.
Yeah, I'm not going to scroll through everything that Bob Odenkirk has been in, because that's interesting to only me. Rupert, Poochie Face. No, definitely. Where did we get to movie 43? Oh, music. That was it, wasn't it?
Speak of.
Why were we talking about music?
Because we're talking about the movie being sad later.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking about later part of the movie, and that's where our tangent started.
So yeah, Tim challenged him no. Mary says no, definitely not. Tim says, come on then, more details about this wonderful first meeting. Rupert says, okay. It was, what, Joanna? June 17th. But I know it was Joanna's party. But
Yeah.
Wouldn't he ask Mary?
I have a weirder problem with this. Why did she say the date?
Yeah, not just, like, Friday.
It's like, it was Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Maybe
does stand
Saturday.
out as a little bit strange, but I wonder if it's just purely for the convenience of the script. I mean, if
Right,
someone
they
says,
didn't know with editing how long has it been. But the editing has suggested this is literally, at best, this was 4 nights ago, the party. And it's like, ugh, weird.
Right, so, it was June 17th, Joe was having a little party, a living hell from which Rupert rescued me, and where was this terrible party, Tim asks. And Joanna says, no, my brothel of a flat. Which is where, though? That's the question, isn't it? Why do they answer these questions? Like, Mary says, what are you, a detective? He says, no, sorry, I've just got a very visual imagination, I like to imagine stuff completely. And she says, 26 Courtfield Gardens, SW5.
and then buys the argument that he's just an imaginative person.
Yeah. She just gave her address to a guy she just met.
Literally.
Of course, Joanna likes him, so.
Yeah, around 8:30. He didn't even ask at this point.
No, she offers extra information.
8:30, and she follows with, dress code slutty. Will that do? Once again, that's not information he asked for. Like, I know he asked for details, but sure. And Tim said, absolutely, yes. Although, yes, I am wondering when you got there, Rupert. Early? Late? On time, I think, Rupert says. True love was calling. And Tim says, oh, I actually feel a bit sick now. And then gets up. So what are both of your comments on the rest of this minute, as we've been very tangent heavy today?
It seems a touch weird that they're willing to just share those details, but the more I think about it, the more I have to ask. I think, should we forgive it for its sort of, sense of humour? Because not least in the same way, the stalkery points we were talking about, last episode, but because of the whole amusement of the fact that it's a guy who can just travel through time at will.
Mm-hmm.
I think there should be a point where we do suspend.
Well, there's a figure of speech I've heard, which was, you can excuse your friends for eating with their fingers, but be angry at your enemies for crossing their knife and fork. So I think maybe the fact that we're, friends with the film is we can excuse it for these details, where in other films we'd criticize it.
Yeah.
It also makes me think about Joanna as a character, because she was really friendly when the stranger walked up a couple minutes ago. Now she's offering extra information. I think she really likes Tim. She wants him to know her address, wants him to know that she dresses slutty. And I'm like, poor Joanna. She's going to lose him to her friends.
It does seem a bit weird, doesn't it?
So have we got any concluding thoughts on this minute? We haven't talked about visuals for a while. Is there anything?
Visuals for this aren't that exciting. It's just various angles on the four of them. It's interesting when it chooses to leave Rupert out of the frame or Joanna out of the frame and focus in on Tim and Mary, but nothing that exciting.
That's very intentional. That's definitely foreshadowing.
Yeah.
And I should say, I correct myself, I think I might have said that Tim gets up to leave. He doesn't yet. He's got more of a line next minute.
Yeah.
Which we'll get to next Monday. Alex, have you got any final thoughts on this minute before we go into our bonus minute?
No, I don't think I have, to be fair. No, I'll stick with what's been said.
So, the bonus minute I gave you was 23, I think, maybe, hopefully.
Yes, that was quite a bizarre minute. I couldn't tell what was going on. Was the screen meant to be black?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So, this is... Actually, let's get your impressions first, and then I'll say what's actually happening. Well, we got a bit of your impressions on Monday, which is just hilarious. So, yeah. What were your impressions on the black minute?
I don't have any, because I was so perplexed by what was going on that I thought it was a sex scene. That I was just First of all, I tried to adjust the contrast on my computer, so I suppose that's a thought. I had to try and adjust the contrast. I thought, oh well, I can see the 9:17 bit. Surely it should be fine. But it just I heard a lot about chocolate mousse, no strawberry mousse even. I was very confused. So that's pretty conclusively my thoughts, I think.
Yeah, so for the listeners who don't know, we were going to have Alex in a couple of weeks' time, and he stood in nicely when we had to swap guests around. So I told Alex earlier today, we'll have you on for the sex scene in a couple of weeks. And then I guess I didn't tell you that once we'd booked you in for today, we'd swapped your minutes around.
No, you didn't. When that was the first minute I watched, I was so confused.
Okay,
like,
so we haven't
a foursome in the dark. Obviously.
So we haven't actually said. Basically, what happens is it's Tim first meeting Mary, Tim and his friend Jay meeting Mary and Joanna in a blind restaurant.
Oh, okay. Well, that's very interesting.
So actually, we don't get the judge her on the way she looks first because we don't see her first, which I think is great because it's the opposite of what we have when Tim falls in love with Charlotte, played by Margot Robbie. Is we come to her legs first, don't we, and then sort of pan up to her and we see her a lot more. And she's not really got a personality anyway as a character, so we can see that Tim's sort of evolved and matured to assuming he's the unreliable narrator, to remembering Mary as someone with a personality. And actually, I remember the reason I sent you this minute is because they talk about Kate Moss. Yep.
Aha, got you. Okay, now that makes slightly more sense to me now that you've mentioned the connection. And the sort of thought that I started to have after you discussed his powers, as it were, to lie down in a dark room, as soon as, we thought about that, one of my thoughts was, oh, maybe this scene is one of those. So it's interesting to see that a blind date is done.
Literally blind, yeah.
Literally blind. I think that's very interesting. It's quite an interesting take.
So to try and speed up Friday's show, this is the point where we ask you the question: if you could go back to any point in your life and relive it, either change it or just experience it again, what moment would that be?
Oh wow, that's quite the question. I'm really not sure.
Because you talked a bit about asking your partner out several times in different ways for fun. That'd be one thing, I guess.
That wouldn't be something that I would do again. I think I nailed that, first time round. But what would I relive again? I mean, there's lots of things that I'd relive again, but they're not. I don't think they're massively substantial. I mean, one of the things that I particularly remember enjoying was Avengers Endgame. That was fun. I really don't know.
Yeah, I think it would be interesting to. Although I guess it wouldn't work because you'd have memories of the past, but it would be interesting to watch a film again for the first time.
That's a different kind of time travel.
But yeah, that wouldn't work with this form of time travel, which is a shame. Because I'd love to do that with some films.
That would, yeah. I mean, I'm very okay. That question has well and truly stumped me.
Fair enough. I've already changed my answer from episode 1 to like it was like 2 weeks later. I didn't change it much. So I guess unless you've got a come up with an answer by the end of the episode, now's the time to ask any upcoming projects and bits to promote, or just your usual social media.
Well,
or anything out there that people can watch.
It might not be the time right now. I say right now as in when this episode airs. But, Corona has very much scuppered everything. So, unfortunately, there is really very little for me to promote, apart from, of course, Unstable. I'm not sure when...
Just search for Unstable on YouTube, I think. It's probably there. If not, lukeallen.co.uk/unstable. You can find it somehow.
It's a very bizarre time.
So, your social media?
Of course, my social media is at alexander.westwood. That's Instagram. And my Twitter is at _Alex_Westwood.
And Robert, where can the listeners find you on social media? Hello? Don't tell me I've lost it now. Oh, you both still there?
I'm still here, Luke, don't worry.
Okay. Robert?
Well, this is quite the ending.
Oh, my fault.
Oh.
My mic was muted because I had just been deleting something and typing. I'm like,
No,
I'm
we're just gonna end
talking.
this
What's the
episode.
problem?
I thought we were just going to end this episode with you not being here.
No, it was funny because I'm like, I'm clearly talking, then I glance over at my Audacity recording and nothing's moving. I'm like, oh wait, what's something I left at my Robert E.G. Black on social media, my website, lemmingdrops.com.
Not gonna lie, that would have been a great cliffhanger to leave them on for much of Will Robert be back?
He'll never be back. No, he's gone. You can edit it that way. I don't care.
He's time travelled.
Yeah, are you in a
I ran
dark
into a
room
closet.
just-
I have to go.
Right, so the listeners can find me on Twitter at llama_bottle0, on Instagram at the Ginger Luke, on Facebook at Luke Allen Film, podcast, short films, radio appearances, newspaper articles, all at lukeallen.co.uk. They can find this show on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at 2 Men's About Time. They can join our Facebook group, The Cupboard. Thanks so much to everyone for listening to this episode. We're back on Monday. Here's a very odd way to say goodbye. Goodness knows why this is on here. It's been emotional. Bye.
Well, not yet, it hasn't, but...
Yeah. I don't know why that's listed
that
as a
one for
way
the
to
last
say
episode.
goodbye. Alright, we'll cheer for see you soon, raccoon.
That one's a good one.
The 2 Minutes About Time theme is performed by Ethan O'Mahony and is a cover of the About Time theme originally composed by Nick Laird-Close. 2 Minutes About Time is a production of Lemming Drop Studios in association with Bottle O Productions.